Welcome back. You know, this is, going from what started this weekend off with the death of this wonderful young woman in New Orleans, Orlando. This wonderful singer,
Christina Grimmie.
Christina Grimmie, to this. It's like, what's in your head?
I find it interesting what Americans do. When there's a tragedy, we all come together in love, which is wonderful. But how long does it really last? It doesn't last for very long. It's like 2 months, we talk about gun control, we have to stop it, and then it just dissipates and we go back to Twitter. I don't understand that. And right now, there are people, that normally wouldn't even have the words LGBT come out of their mouth and like, we have to stick together and this is our family. How long are we gonna be your family? How long? Because we have embraced so many people outside of our community much better than other people outside of our community have embraced us. And
I agree with that.
This should show that everyone needs to stick together at all times. No matter what you go home with, no matter where you go to work, no matter what, we have to keep these conversations, but stop having the conversations and come up with a plan to fix it. Where are the gun laws? I'm so confused why we still have this conversation every day.
It's interesting, one of the arguments they give about more guns, which is Trump, by the way, said that he absolutely wouldn't ban assault weapons because, quote unquote, people need protection. Well, and the other thing he said when Bataclan in France, remember when that happened? And he said if they had guns, they would have been able to defend themselves. Well, in fact, there was a security guard outside of the Pulse this weekend who had a gun. They exchanged fire and the guy went right past him with his assault weapon and killed 50 people. So here's the argument against that, Donald. That's the argument. Number two about this, you can be on a no-fly list in this country, not be allowed to get on a plane because but if you're on that no-fly list, you can buy an assault rifle in this country. What is it going to
be interrogated by the FBI 3 times and still get a gun?
But the no-fly list seems an open and shut case also. There's the list. Here are the names. Those people go in the computer. You cannot buy a gun. What is wrong with people in this country? More than 90% of Americans are for gun control. Hillary Clinton has come out and proposed reinstating the assault weapons ban that expired in 2004 under George W. Bush. I just want to say, to Americans, you actually have a choice in this election. You actually do. You have power.
There's been like 133 plus mass shootings in America since the beginning of the year, and only several states have stricter laws on assault rifles. But please, maybe it's my age. How come adults don't get it?
They do. They do.
No, they don't get it.
It's about money. It's about money.
It's about a lot of different things. It's about an amendment in the Constitution that people misread. The Constitution doesn't say you can carry hundreds of guns. It says you can protect your home. It says you can protect yourself. It doesn't say get 55 guns. It's not
or in military style.
And people say, well, we need to have our guns because we can, go shoot. You can't hunt anything with an assault rifle. You can't do it. There's nothing left after you. It's gone. And not for nothing, all you people on Twitter that like to come after folks, back up. Because you can't explain this.
No.
You can't explain this away. You couldn't explain it in Sandy Hook. You can't explain it here. There's no reason for anybody to have a machine gun, basically, to do that. I'm sorry. So keep your stuff to yourself. I don't care what you think. Back off me, I don't care. Anyway, a lot of people are upset that conservative politicians who are sending their thoughts and prayers, this is what I think you're talking about, acknowledging that this was a hate crime against the LGBT community. I mean, can they continue to ignore this? What can they do?
I love that they're speaking out because I do think anytime we're standing together, it's good. I do understand what Raven's saying, which now there needs to be some follow-up. And the thing that is blaring here to me is what makes us a great nation is that we separate church and state. This is the only way we can coexist with differences of opinion, lifestyles, etc. And the problem here is in the name of religion, which has caused wars for centuries, people become the judges themselves and kill that which is different from them.
That's right.
And right now, politicians, especially those that make law in the name of their faith, need to step back for a second and say, I respect you for your belief. Let's remember that unless you keep that in home and in your family and where you can impress that on people, our politics need to remain without religion.
I agree, and I think this is something that, and you were talking about a lot of these politicians who happen to be Christian. I think it's something the Christian community needs to do a much better job, and that's loving people. Just because you love someone doesn't mean you have to totally agree with them. The Bible says, love God, love people. They'll know you're Christians by your love for one another. And I think, if anything, I hope this situation, I hope that it amplifies that, and I hope that it brings our country together, and hopefully, you know, a lot of Christians and maybe those that didn't see the side of the LGBT community can start loving, because that's really, at the end of the day, what it's all about. Because that's all the Christians are called to do.
It's miseducation. People are ignorant about the community, and that we'll talk about it later.
You know, you're right. People are ignorant about the community, but we're ignorant about so many things, you know, and this was brought really to fruition for me on Friday. I was at Muhammad Ali's memorial, and this is a man who gave up everything because his religion told him that war is not the answer. War is not the way to go. And you know, there are radical Muslims, there are radical Jews, there are radical Catholics, there are radical Christians. There's all kind of radical atheists. There's all kind of radical folks. But the bottom line really is, I don't have to be the person that believes in your religion to respect you.
Exactly, it's true.
I don't have to be that, and you don't have to be that. As long as we can respect each other, your religion should have no implication on who I am. It only has to apply to who you are if that's your religion. So we can find a way to live together. This is ridiculous. The fact that we're doing this is ridiculous. We'll be right back.